Dear Commissioner, dear Ministers, honourable panellists, dear participants of the EU Balkan Summit. Thank you to ALDE Co-President Ilhan Kyuchyuk, the ALDE Party, the European Liberal Forum and the Atlantic Club of Bulgaria for inviting me to address you today. And more importantly, thank you for organising this timely summit at what will become one of the most decisive moments in European history. Not too long ago, when we would gather in these exchanges, we would speak of pre- and post-COVID. And now we cannot but speak of pre- and post-24th of February 2022. Because the war in Ukraine has changed everything. And it serves as a wake-up call for Europe and the world. Less than 1,000 kilometers from Sofia, Ukrainian men, women and children are paying the ultimate price in protecting their homeland, in protecting democracy in Europe. It is our responsibility to stand united with Ukraine against the aggressor and to draw important lessons from this brutal and unprovoked invasion. The European Parliament welcomes the Western Balkans' Six's condemnation of Russia's aggression against Ukraine, and we commend those countries who have implemented EU sanctions against Russia. We further emphasize, however, that sanctions must continue to be implemented in full. This is what is expected from every country aspiring to become a member of the European Union, because we are only as strong as we are united. In this vein, stability in our immediate neighbourhood is vital for EU stability. And that is why we need to think of ways to accelerate the enlargement process in the Western Balkans as a powerful tool to counter the efforts of malign foreign actors, including through disinformation and propaganda campaigns, in order which they try to destabilise the region. Geographically, Western Balkan countries are surrounded by the European Union. Their accession would not only mark the enlargement of our union, but more importantly, a significant step towards its completion. The Western Balkan countries have been knocking on our doors for far too long. Clarity is now needed for them and for us. As I mentioned in my inaugural speech to the European Parliament, we must reverse the lost momentum when it comes to our relationship with the Western Balkans. So the Western Balkans Six need to continue working hard to comply with the accession criteria, and genuine efforts must be made to solve all outstanding bilateral issues. Yet while the need for implementation and full implementation of internal reforms remains, we cannot keep lingering and adding criteria as we go along. The European Union must also keep its word. We have to deliver on our promises. Albania and North Macedonia have done their part to start the accession negotiations. But despite repeated calls by the European Parliament, the dates for their first intergovernmental conferences are yet to be set. Despite having fulfilled all our requirements, Kosovars still require a visa to enter into the European Union. Again, the repeated calls of the European Parliament have fallen on deaf ears. Not only is it unfair, it undermines the European Union's credibility. It weakens us. Montenegro, the front-runner of the EU accession process, has been struggling with internal disagreements instead of working towards closing the negotiating chapters. Serbia, another front-runner, is seriously lacking behind when it comes to its alignment with the European Union's common foreign and security policy. And with Bosnia and Herzegovina, here we remain particularly attentive. Russia's recent threats leave no doubt that Putin is ready to continue his destructive campaign also in the Western Balkans. The European Parliament remains fully committed to the sovereignty, territorial integrity and stability of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and is resolved to counter any attempts to challenge it. On this note, we welcome the UN Security Council's decision to extend EUFOR Althea for another year and to strengthening its force with an additional 500 members. We encourage all efforts to solve the internal political crisis in Bosnia and Herzegovina and support the country's efforts to obtain candidate status as soon as possible. Understandably, the ghosts of the Balkan Wars remain very much alive in the region. But EU integration will bring the much-needed and awaited breath of fresh air to effectively overcome the past. It is crucial for the future of the Western Balkans, and it is crucial for the future of the European Union. The European Union's enlargement policy has always been one of our biggest, most transformative successes. And this is why the European Parliament remains committed to clearing the accession path for the Western Balkans. Let me reiterate, as I have done in the past, the Western Balkans will always find an ally in the European Parliament. Thank you once again, and I wish you many fruitful exchanges throughout the rest of the summit.